What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. As you saw by the title, the video states that Linux has a UX design problem, and this is true. Boss apps tend to be very, anti-user, and that is very unfortunate, but it's a truth, and it's one that people tend to cope with and fight against the most. They will always state that there's nothing wrong with the design of KDE, Krita, or any other application because they themselves don't have an issue. They only think about themselves. That's what Linux users tend to do. They are very selfish in a way because if they don't have a problem, you shouldn't have a problem. And did this thing just die on me? What even is this? This is nightly Gimp. Good. Well, we're going to start with all of that here in a minute. Okay? Promise. Now, these are my opinions. And my opinions are also based on other people's experience. I have a comment section. Most people don't know this, but YouTubers actually do pay attention to their comments, me especially. And the resounding notion is that most FOSS apps, 99% of them, will not cut it as alternative for Windows applications. And this is something that is true. And it's a serious issue when it really comes down to it because, you know, if the person is going to even consider going over to Linux, they're going to want applications that actually work, that have good UIs, that are designed to be as easy as walking into a Windows application and learning it in under 10 minutes. Okay? That's my superpower, by the way. I did that with Affinity Designer on the live stream. Never touched the app before in my life. Walked out with a brand new logo. Was ridiculously happy about it. I am still learning it fully, of course, but I learned it up to the point where I can design things now. And that's what matters, is a good app that teaches you as you go instead of one that confuses you and makes you ask the wrong questions. Let's start with everybody's most hated video editor. See if I can find it in here. No. Is it this one? It's Kdenlive. I have a love-hate relationship with this damn thing. While in a nutshell, if you have a video editor that doesn't work, like if Davinci craps itself, which it never does, by the way, thank God for that, you have this. This is one of the most used video editors on Linux, unfortunately, and it shouldn't be. This thing looks like it came out of Temu or Wish, and it looks like it was basically coded off the back of Windows Movie Maker. Its UI is unintuitive, it's a horrible design overall, and it really speaks wonders to how the hell was this even made to begin with. The things that should be out in the open most are literally right here, okay, and up here. And what's worse is everything else is pretty much just a button with icons that don't really, I guess, do it justice, if you will. Let's just go to Breeze Dark. I'm going to set this to do the best that I can here, and the style is, of course, with Breeze. And nothing's really changed. But if you really look at this thing, from a new user standpoint, from someone who wants to learn video editing, they're going to be overwhelmed. I remember the first time opening, they're like, people love this app. I'm going to love this app, right? Hated it. Hated every second of it. I don't like it at all. And it's not a bias against the fact that it's a Qt app or it's related to KDE. It's just with the fact that it's just not, the UX design of it's embarrassing. To put it just straight facts, this is something that a design student who's learning design for the first 2 hours would make. All right, there you go. I said it. This is not design. This is anti-design. If you put this forward in your design class for a new application, you'd fail. All right? Well, these days they probably push you through anyway because, you know, they like to baby students. Oh, it's sad. It is. It's sad to see this. I know how to use this. That's the thing. I know how to use this. But it lacks customization. It lacks the ability to just be what I need it to be, what most video editing people need it to be. It's one of the biggest disappointments of Linux in the last 25 years for me. And it doesn't get any better. It really doesn't. It has more features for subtitles, which is completely fine, than it has for improvements for its rendering backend. So I had other clips where I was literally going through this, editing and this, making this work, and it would render out at 30 FPS. It got worse, 30 FPS with parallel processing enabled at max speed, like max video quality, which Davinci's Resolve can do in 1 minute and 2 seconds, even with a 23-minute video without a problem. It can plow through that. So this is a UX design problem. All right. I'm going to open up another video editor. This is called Shotcut, and we get pretty much the exact same thing. The only difference is these people concentrate on their rendering backend, so they're nearly as fast as Davinci's Resolve, maybe about 20% slower at minimum. But here's the thing. These buttons, I know this is magnet. This is cut. This literally cuts everything out. But split it, playhead, like, it's just really anti-intuitive. Once again, I mean, you can run in here, you can record stuff, you can do stuff, but in the end, I mean, this is our current clip we're recording now, by the way. Let me just dump something in here real quick, okay? Yeah, this one right here. Okay, good. We got it open. We can hit play. We can preview before we dump it in the timeline. That's great. What happens when we jump it in the timeline? Timeline shows up, video's on top, audio's down bottom. I believe we can split these if we needed to with detach audio. We can. And bring this up. Great. Can I make this bigger? It will not let me make... Wait. No, it will not let me make this bigger. See, customization needs to be there because I like to have a wide angle view and a nice thick view of my audio. Can't do that in this, and this is a problem for me. Sure, if I needed to, I can zoom all the way in and zoom all the way out. That's fine. And the audio is not even in normal waveform, which is not okay because most people edit in waveform. With this, you see audio everywhere. You don't see the places where it won't actually show in most other applications. Say you wanted to make a cut, it's S. It's you don't get a blade. You don't get a blade. That's the problem. And to cut together, you would of course have to have it not detached from the audio. So yeah, that's not an audio waveform. I don't know what the hell this is. Now, its render settings are a lot better than most applications where you would click export right here and you can go to configure. I already have AV1 set. I don't want you and I don't want you. And you hit OK. Then you could hit advanced right here. You could set everything up codec wise and just make it all work for you. This is super impressive. I like this. This works. All right, so this one gets points for having a good UI. But when you compare it overall to the master and the god of all video editing, I can open it up. It's not letting me do. 1 second. Come on, don't be that guy. 1 second, let me put this over here. That didn't work. I don't know what it was doing. But we have it open now. And there we go. Look at this thing. Hit B, you're given a blade. You're able to chop at any point. Hit A, you're actually able to select. You're able to come over to the edges and add fade outs and fade ins. Add 120, do whatever you need to, right? Pretty much, this is designed for the end user. This is designed for Hollywood. This is designed for someone who actually wants to get into video editing while also being on Linux, being on Windows, being on Mac OS, being on an iPad. This is universally available across all formats. And it's got a nice, good, well put together design, which is important. And I love it. Even Adobe Premiere Pro has a better overall layout and design than those two apps combined. Now, this isn't biased. I've used applications like this for years. This is basically me going from learning video editing to being where I am right now, which is knowing enough to get me by without really putting too much into it, because I don't like that whole scripted thing going on. But when it really comes down to it, when it comes to ease of use, man, nothing holds a candle to Davinci's Resolve, Final Cut Pro, or Adobe Premiere Pro, because they separate their coding and their design. And those two have to work together to create a functional overall this, and it works. When it comes to FOSS apps, though, it's pretty much just developers thinking about developers. And they create the most unintuitive application you can think of when it comes to video editing. Kdenlive is usable, but is it good? No. Is it great? Hell no. Is it professional level video editing? Not in a million years. Can you? Sure. It's going to take 10 times longer than a normal video editor to get things done, but at least it's usable. It's a 2 out of 10. That's giving it a little bit of headroom there. Shotcut, that's more like a 1 out of 10, just because it doesn't have those simple tools like it has here. And another thing that both of these do worse, and I'm going to open up this as another example, is these have the ability to overwhelm you very easily. I mean, look at this. This is for your keyboards. Are you serious? Look at all this stuff. This is redonkulous. And what's worse is they don't have their main tools at the top. They just don't. It's all over the place. This is messy. You can manage schemes. You can add different versions of things. You can change, add new ones. Sure, it works. But it's just overwhelming. Like, I am looking at this right now and my anxiety is going off. That's how bad it is. But if we go into something like this, there you go. Look at that. Everything that matters is over here. And then you got your edit and your trim, your main stuff over here. And you're just able to set and control and make things work. And it already takes into account that there's other video editors, and it makes it easy for those people to transition over to Davinci's Resolve. It's just a far better experience because they took the actual time to learn what users want and implemented the way that it needs to be done to be ease of use. It's not something that's difficult to understand. Design is super easy. You can go on YouTube and learn design in 10 to 9 minute videos to up to 7 chapters. It just depends on if you want a good application to be made in the FOSS environment or not. All FOSS applications suffer from this except for cooler control, which is a brilliant application. Now, I'm going to close all this out and we're going to move on to the photo editing and design side of things. So I guess we have to start with Krita. Where are you, Krita? There you are. It's known as a digital painting application, but I'm going to be completely honest. It's a little bit more than that. Now, this is what I managed to pull off. It took me about 4 hours to figure everything out, and the edges are not clean. Everything does not look as good as it should. Let me just turn off the FX real quick so that you can see that. And in complete and utter honesty, this is a disaster. Now, I want to go and zoom in to show you what I mean by the lines. I think you see it by now. of what the problem is. And I don't have any other FX on. You can see in the corner they're all disabled. This is just a disaster. The way that it handles its lines is unclean. This is a rasterization app only. Gimp does a better job than this at maintaining its lines, and that says a lot. So if you jumped into this for your first time ever, and let's be honest here, no coping necessary, what would you think? Like, honestly, why is zoom out over there? Why are the tool options over there? Tool options should always be up here. Again, another bad UX design choice. Should I just be able to do this? Thank you. Now, I've spent a lot of time learning this, and I've actually built a lot of backgrounds with this personally myself for my kids because they like Pokemon and stuff. So I know this pretty well as a painting program, and it can do as a Photoshop alternative. It has 95% of what I need to get it done. The only problem is the layout and the UX design is a complete and utter disaster. Go to settings, toolbar showing, configure toolbar, you got themes. Like, let's do darker. Oh, that looks nice. Styles, again, it's all there, same crap as always. Windows, so workspace, big paint, big vector. You know, click this, that's big paint. Big paint 2 basically is GIMP. I like this. This design I'm kind of used to. I don't mind it at all. And there's other workspaces, default, small vector, storyboarding, VX, paint. And you can import more workspaces or start a new one. This is fine. I can work with this. This looks great. This allows me to get stuff done efficiently. Like, I actually want to give you examples in this. So let's turn this off. And what does this button do? There we go. We're going to add a new paint layer. Okay. We're going to take this tool. We're going to do this. There. That's it. We have what we need. And let me just move this all down. So where is this? Go ahead, color that in. Let's take a look at the lines now. Hopefully it did a better job than it did before. Now, while that line is cleaner, it's got some artifacts because we did the whole paint bucket thing, right? Right click here. Is there a select pixel? Add, convert, select. No, it's not going to work. Right here? No. Right here? No. Usually when it comes to proper actual applications that deal with photos and anything else, you'll see a select pixel. There's not one. There's just not. Now, is there a proper select tool here? Yes, there is. Do you notice that only selects in? So let's turn up the options here. Great. Now let's zoom out. And what we're going to do it's just not letting me do it. I mean, that's fine. It doesn't really have to. I'm going to just try to make the threshold more. There. Now, where's the paintbrush? And try that. I know this seems silly to try to show you this stuff, but I actually want to go in depth here. And we have a screwed up line again. Which is unfortunate. I am sure I could probably make it so that it makes a solid like object out of this. So let's try this. Okay, so there we go. And if we did the paintbrush, would it be a little bit better? No, of course it wouldn't. I don't know what it's doing right there, but that's not it. Not it by a long shot. So that's enough of that. We're going to hit no. Now, the one I'm going to be showing you is the nightly version of GIMP, the one that's coming up. Because they did change their UI a lot, and they made it simpler and easy to use, which is very nice to know. As you can see, it opens up with this welcome screen. Great. I wish it was full screen, kind of like you have with Affinity and other applications. But everything's all squashed up here, see? And we can't like squish it to come down. Now, there is a way that you can probably do it. And I like what they've done here. They got a lot of new stuff going on here, and it looks great. It really does. And I'm glad that they're doing this. Can we make it bigger? We can. Good, there's font scaling. Merge menu and title bar, client side decoration. Okay, let's close it down. See what this turns into. And it turns into... Wow, look at that. It's got its own decoration going on. That actually looks a lot better than it did before. So, again, I could go over this with you, but it's the same exact issue as Krita. It is UX design flawed, I guess you could say. When comparing to Photoshop and Affinity Photo, it's just, it doesn't work as a Photoshop alternative. It doesn't work as a paint program. It will take you a long time to learn this. It'll take you more time to really get into this. Like, this is just, it's like, it's not even comparable, honestly. And every time that someone recommends GIMP, they get laughed out of the room. That should tell you everything you need to know. I'm going to open this up. And right now we're having KDE issues. Let's just try to move this over to the second monitor and then back. There we go. Okay. Like that. There we go. So Photoshop's laid out well. Look at that. We go into workspaces and windows. And yeah, KDE is so buggy. Okay. We're not going to concentrate on this. We're going to concentrate on Affinity anyway. I'm abandoning Photoshop. And as you can see, the layouts are completely different. We have a professional laid out, good UI design that actually emphasizes the user's ability. And then we have GIMP. GIMP has icons that you recognize. Fine. Text, paint, everything else. Great. There's overall less tools. And I get that. All right, I do. Your brushes are ugly. They're outdated. They're barely used by anybody, and they need to be replaced. They're not a very high quality. We go to new. Template. We can go and select 1080p, which is what I did over here. And is this my layers? That's my patterns. That's my font. That's my document history. My layers are down here. So all of this is being emphasized over my layers, which is one of the most important things for when working into this type of stuff. Can we do, like, if I maximize this, I'm not even given more space. Like, can I just like, no, it doesn't allow me to move that. It's just sad that they do this. They don't let you pull this down. They don't let you have it in one straight bar. The previews that they show have it done, but it's not done by default, and that's a problem. Like, this should be all down here on one skinny ass side, just like it is on Affinity. I mean, look at Affinity. It's beautiful. And then look at GIMP. It's like stepping back into 2001 all over again. I get Gimp's trying to change and evolve, but at the pace they're going, by the time they do that, Affinity 3 is going to be out. Photoshop's going to completely revamp their UI to be more modern, and they're going to be left in the dust again. Affinity is so easy to get used to. I jumped in, I made a thumbnail. We're actually going to open it up here. It looks good. I used it to replace an old one. And Bob's your uncle. It's done, right? It's finished. And there's other programs that I went and learned as well, which is Affinity Designer. This all requires a custom wine, by the way, except for Photoshop. And Affinity Designer, oof, that was a tough cookie to crack, said no one ever. I learned it in under 3 hours, and I created this, which is a recreation of my original logo. Just more detail, more depth, more the way that I wanted to, more full of life. And if I tried to do this in Gimp, it'd probably take me a couple days. Krita, guaranteed a couple days. I could do this in Photoshop in an hour, but it wouldn't be vectorized. I could do this in Affinity Photo in under an hour, but it wouldn't be vectorized. I wanted a good lossless type of experience. You know what I mean? I want them clean lines. I want everything to look professional and well done. And I did that, and I'm proud of that, and that makes me happy. But the only alternative to do this, the only alternative that we have is Inkscape. I have never used Inkscape for longer than 5 minutes at best, maybe. And there we go. New document. Why are you always opening up on the other screen? And this is still one of the most impressive open source applications so far. Wow. This is modernized. This is beautiful. This is design at its finest. Learn from this, Krita. Learn from this, Gimp. Learn from this overall. Video editors. I said that. Learn from it. Where are my layers? I've got layers, right? There's fill, stroke, paint, and there's a bunch of buttons. Like, look at all these buttons over on this side, and look at all the buttons over this side. And like, it's not overwhelming either. It's just, it's exciting. And my layers are right here. And this is really cool. So, like, great. That's a wonky one. Oh, what did I do? No. Where did my other half go? Did I rotate that? Oh, look at that. You can get rid of the ruler with Control R. Can I hold Shift? And I can hold Shift. That's really cool. Can I make a swirl? I can make a swirl. Sweet. Can I switch my colors real quick? Yes, I can. And look at that. That's really nice. This is an overall really well done UI that is honestly brilliant. This is impressive. This is what Linux applications need to strive to be. Now we're going to close this out and we're going to talk about music applications. So music applications, kind of simple. You open it, looks like this. Nice. And then you have other Linux applications that look like this. This is Cider 2. It's an Apple Music app. And no, you cannot download music with it or anything like that. What the hell is she doing? Alright, I'm going to get rid of her soon. And the point of all this is, what's the excuse, Rhythmbox? What's the excuse? Now, do I have my audio muted? I do. Alright, so I'm going to hit play on this. We're going to click this one. And you guys shouldn't be able to hear it, but you notice how it changes according to the album art. Like this one. Like, look at that. That looks really cool. And the best part is, Animated artwork, great. Most applications like Dead Beef and other things require an excessive amount of work to make it look good. Can't believe that just crashed when I did that. You're making yourself look bad, Cider. Stop it. And then the other music applications come out with bad GUIs that look like this. This looks horrible. It really does. And then we got other views. Like, there's not really much customization when it comes to this, unfortunately. You got edit, add to playlist. Where did my options go? There is an option button, right? Preferences. Set preferences. And you can do this or this. Yeah, sure, but has anybody ever heard of Music Bee? For a local application, one second. Music Bee is at the top of its game. I'm gonna get hate for this, but it is. Look at this. You can't. Look at this. There you go. Let's just open this up in a new image. So this is Music Bee. Album art, everything's spread out the way that it should be. It looks great. You can customize it, change it, drag everything on top, down to the bottom, to the side, wherever you want it to go. It works. And out of the box, it's usable, it looks fantastic, and it just functions. But here's the thing, when it comes to other FOSS open source music applications, Dead Beef is one of the most customizable. It's beautiful, it functions, right? This, on the other hand, is just, I don't know what the hell this is, but I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I mean, we have all of my music here. It's great, it shows it, but it just doesn't look very well. And, like, why are you this way? Okay? Videos application. Look, it does things. It looks okay. It works. I mean, it functions the best that it can. But no OpenGL. So I can't exactly use it. And I wish that I could. I can't really actually figure out this issue. But I'll figure it out one day. This is a nice looking application, but that's because it's a Gnome application. Gnome is the only one that does not suffer from the UX design issue. Their apps, like their maps, are brilliant looking. Like, look at that. Smooth. It works. There's no need for any 3D or anything else like that. Wow. Are you telling me there's... Is this an airport? Oh, yeah. I think it might be. Yeah, there's an airport right there. But I thought the airport was over here. Oh, that's another airport. Cool, I did not know we had two airports. Maybe that was a military base or something. But the applications that come with Gnome are honestly fantastic. And a lot of people hate on them because they design it so well. It ends up working. And it annoys people so much when I end up saying that. It really does. They get personally annoyed because I use Gnome every day and I don't really have any issues with it. And it's sad to see that people are being so hateful towards actual developers that care about design. I'm going to get so much flack for all of this, but it is what it is. Linux has a UX problem. It needs to be fixed. It needs to be addressed. Developers need to stop developing for other developers and they need to develop for the end user. They need to come up to a modern standard. Because even when I go and open up Dolphin, it's ugly. It doesn't work. It looks like I stepped back into the past. It has customization options. I get that. Great. But there is such thing as too much. And then we have this. Whoever designed this, you need to step into a class or two to really know how to make things work, because damn, this really just does not look good at all. And I can go on and on about the design of KDE for ages. The theming does not look clean. None of this looks clean. It just looks there. It looks pasted on top of a wallpaper. I don't like it. And I know a lot of people as well don't like it. Why is Affinity Designer showing up there? That's weird. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, let me know your experiences with the UX design of Linux, and please, for the love of God, stop with all the coping. Everybody knows the design of Linux applications is horrible, ugly, outdated, and not modern minus Inkscape. It's not going to change unless somebody finally says this is enough, this is a problem, this needs to change. You know what I mean? Don't forget the like button, do all that other stuff, and I'll see you guys next time.